Good afternoon, Rotarians. Welcome to our weekly celebration of service for March 8th, 2022. I'm your president, Sally Gaskell. Thank you all for being here. The good news is everything that's already going to happen that's gone wrong has already happened. So, among other things, I printed out the wrong script for today, so I'm going to wing it. Today is International Women's Day, and this has been happening since 1910, which is really interesting, and it's been an official program of the United Nations since 1975. And I want to, of the many remarkable women who are members of Bloomington Rotary, I want to shout out to two of them who are in the news this past week before we start, and Dave Meyer comes up to give the reflection. They are Yolanda Trevino, who was profiled in the
We've lost Sally.
Sally, you're frozen.
Can you all hear me?
We can hear you. I don't know whether they can hear you.
Yeah, okay. Your Zoom friends cannot hear you, Sally.
Would it help to put that in the chat?
I was just thinking I would try that.
I thought everything that could go wrong I already have, but he always has a few surprises up its sleeve, you
know. Did we lose her entirely? Where is she?
I don't even see her.
I think she's gone. Oh my gosh, we might just have to have our own Rotary Zoom meeting.
To have to take over, Joy.
Not at all prepared for that.
Oh, we'll help you out. Keep going, Joy.
Well, I really think we lost her. Okay. Wow.
Well,
can you hear us now, everybody?
Can
you hear us now, dude?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good.
Okay, now we can hear
you guys can mute.
Okay, we'll mute.
Yeah. Well, let me start with a poem by Emma Lazarus, imprinted on the Statue of Liberty. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land, here at our sea-washed sunset gate shall stand a mighty woman with a torch whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name, Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep ancient lands, your storied pomp, cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore, send these, the homeless tempest-tossed to me. I lift up my lamp beside the golden door. I've been thinking a lot about the meaning of being an American recently. Some of you may know that I've assumed the leadership of a team of volunteers of a local church that's co-sponsoring a family of Afghan evacuees here in Bloomington. The young family was rescued from Afghanistan last year by the US military. These gentle folks were actively hunted by the Taliban for their work that they undertook to help the United States government in Afghanistan. When I think about the risks that the American military men and women undertook to airlift 70,000 Afghans under fire from Kabul last year, it makes me proud to be an American. Americans help those in need, especially their friends and allies. Thinking back to the Emma Lazarus poem, as a country made largely of immigrants, both voluntary and involuntary, Welcoming newcomers and then assimilating them seems to be core to being an American. So how will this Afghan family be assimilated? By memorizing the Pledge of Allegiance? By learning the words to the national anthem? Perhaps. I think true assimilation is achieved when newcomers can also give back to their community and country. Perhaps they will be fully assimilated when one day the father or the mother become a Rotarian so they can be recognized as believing in service above self, as we all do. For now, the family is learning what it is to be American through church volunteers that are dedicated to helping and mentoring them. The volunteers are learning that the evacuees that come from Afghanistan want the same things that we do: a secure home, good schools for their children, a job, fellowships, friendships. Our similarities greatly outnumber our differences from these newcomers. Recently, I took the father
All righty. I think we're having issues again.
I think we're frozen.
And Michael,
Yep.
Okay. Michael is chatting with me, so we'll see if we can. I don't know if everybody in the room can hear me as well. Sorry, folks. I mean, in the Annie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ahad wanted to put a reminder of the country that rescued him and his family from possible death in Afghanistan on every envelope that he sends out. He is already learning what it is to be American.
Thank you, Dave. That was awesome. And now, Dave Meyer, will you please come back to the podium? And would you be joined by Sarah Laughlin and John Armstrong for our new member induction? And I don't care if anything goes wrong with this because John's in no matter what. Yeah, John will entertain us. I don't know if any of you remember when John Armstrong was a featured speaker at Bloomington Rotary a gazillion years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, Dave, over to you.
Okay, on a more festive note here, this is, of course, the moment that we enjoy the most, or at least I enjoy the most in Rotary, is the induction of new members, because the vitality of our club is defined by who joins our club. And so we are really lucky today to have John Armstrong become our newest member. So let me tell you a little bit about John. In second grade at White Lick Elementary School in Brownsburg, John was cast in his first theatrical role. He played the defense attorney in the courtroom drama Gold E. Locks versus the Three Bears. John wanted the role because it was the biggest part. From that moment forward, John knew exactly what he wanted to be when he grew up: a lawyer. That same year, he made another important decision. He would attend Indiana University. Well, one of those predictions came to pass. John later realized his mistake. He didn't want to be a lawyer. He wanted to pretend to be one. John applied to one school and came to Bloomington in 1996 to attend IU as a first-generation college student. He earned a bachelor's degree in musical theater in 2002 under the tutelage of Professor Emeritus George Penny. After a 2-year stint in New York City, and with a 2-week-old baby in tow, John returned to Bloomington to pursue his MFA degree in acting, which he achieved in 2007. Since then, John has worked as a professional actor on stage and as a professor, instructor, and coach in studios across the country. In 2014, he and fellow IU alumnus Zachary Spicer co-founded Pegasus Pictures with their first feature film, The Good Catholic, filmed in Bloomington in 2016. John subsequently relocated to Bloomington in 2017 to run Pegasus full-time. Now John's mission is the advancement of the arts in Bloomington with the goal of raising the community's artistic profile to national prominence. John is now married to Bloomington South Counselor Lacey Grant and spends his mornings getting his stepsons Zane and Nash ready for school at Childs Elementary. His son, Jack, that two-year-old baby from grad school, will be in Bloomington on the 21st of this month for his first official campus visit. Jack says he's committed, quote unquote. Pardon me. Jack says he's committed and John is over the moon. When asked about his life's journey, John says, let's walk through the open door. Just walk through the open door. It'll take you where you're supposed to go. So that is a little bit about John. And now I have the official part right after I put my phone on mute, so I don't hear from anyone else. Pardon me. Okay. Can you take that? Oh, I go. Yeah, come right over here.
We Zoom participants are patient people, aren't we?
That's hysterical. Yes, we are. So are we skipping happy dollars?
I don't know that we're connected to the main room right now, Sandy, so.
Okay, I just wanted to offer some happy dollars in behalf of my mother-in-law who passed away recently. She would have been the most stellar Rotarian you could ever imagine. She lived her life.
Yeah, if you could mute yourselves on the Zoom call, that would be wonderful. Okay, thank you. Okay, John, you've been chosen for membership in the Bloomington Rotary Club because your fellow members believe. Our community will know and judge Rotary by your character and service. We will also look to you for inspiration as we strive to become better Rotarians. See that works.
Dave, keep going.
We ask that you wear your Rotary pin with pride, and not only to all Rotary functions, but in your many endeavors as a symbol of your commitment to Rotary ideals and our recognition of your contribution toward a better world. Fellow Rotarians, please rise or sit up straight in your chair if you're on Zoom, and welcome our newest Rotarian, John Armstrong.
Knowing John, I will not invite him to say a few words at this podium.
I'll go forever.
He actually has to leave us because he has a class.
I know. I worked it out.
Dang, awesome.
The students
Okay.
were fine with it.
Okay, fine. Good. We're glad you're here. Okay, we have a couple of birthdays and member anniversaries. Actually, one birthday, which is Rex Hillary, March the 13th. Happy birthday, Rex. And Jim Capshew has been a member of our club for 4 years. We have a few announcements today before we get to the bulk of the meeting. And Tim Jessen, I wonder if you would make your way to the podium. I have big news about the district conference on April 9th, and that is that if you have never attended a district conference, our club will pay half your registration fee for this year's conference held right here at the IMU on Saturday, April 9th. So it's only $49 for a full day of content, 2 meals, and lots of good feels. If you are interested, just contact Natalie or me, and then we'll take care of the rest. So, Rotary Night at the Theater is this Thursday, March the 10th for the Cardinal Stage production of The Mountaintop at the John Waldron Arts Center. We have a nice group going. It's not too late to call the Cardinal Stage box office if you want to join them. Just tell them you're part of the Rotary group. And now, Tim Jessen.
Thank you very much, Sally. I belonged to a club once that had bragging bucks. So that's what this is, a bragging buck about the speech contest that we had on Saturday. And you'll be introduced sometime soon to the winner who is related to our club, through his mother, who served us for many years. Alan, a freshman at Edgewood High School, won the speech contest. And we want to give him and everybody that participated a wonderful round of applause for a great Rotary event.
I'm going to try to get Alan Martindale and his mom here for a meeting in the future so that we can all hear his 5-minute talk. I really want to thank Alan Barker and Michael Shermas and Joy Harder for their service above self today, service beyond self, as we continue to struggle with technology. And thank you, Dave Meyer, for the reflection and for your work as our membership chair. Ashley, Wesley, would you please come forward? I'm so pleased to introduce Ashley, our immediate past president, no stranger to anyone, who, along with Ron Barnes from the board of directors, chaired a really important committee this past year, and that was to take a long look at our club bylaws and propose revisions. The board of directors looked at these revisions a number of meetings and finally came to the conclusion and unanimously approved them at our last month's meeting. And we sent to you the final proposed revisions along with what was being changed about 3 weeks ago in an email. And with that, I'll turn it over to Ashley.
Okay, so I'm here just in case anyone has any questions about the bylaws that you received. Like Sally said, the board has approved the revisions that we worked really hard on. Ron and I really combed through this, and hopefully that you all approve with the revisions we made. Overall, what we did was remove things that were overly prescriptive and outdated. And so the final copy on your table, without the reductions, anything there, is what you are approving today. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to speak up now or forever hold your peace. Yes.
So on
It's okay, I've got it here.
Oh, on the fees and dues section, section 3A.
Okay.
Where it talks about the member unable to pay the outstanding balance within 30 days. I think that conflicts with the language before that, which says 90 days. So I think if your intent is to have it pay 30 days after the 90 days, that language needs to be cleared up.
Okay. The 90 days was a past due balance on charges that are more than 90 days old. And then the section A is if a member is unable to pay the balance within 30 days of being notified about their balance and work out a plan with us. But we can work up change to that language to make that more clear.
Just show it up a little bit
so
it's more clear.
And
Any other questions?
can you hear me? This is Glenda online. And my question was, it appears we're on page 8, I think, under membership, that we won't have the old rule of 85 anymore. And that's okay. I just wanted to be clear because some of us old timers used to hope for getting to the point where we were, our age and our years in Rotary match that 85. And I think what you've done is create the, we have honorary and regular, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know, and that's fine.
Go ahead and repeat it.
Yes, so she was finishing her question. So Glenda was asking about an old rule that we had, the rule of 85, which I'm going to try to explain that. The rule of 85 was a combined years of service that would, and age that would provide you with certain benefits, including free meals.
No dues.
Free dues, okay, free dues. So now that we've gone to a different format with our fees for the food, we used to pay for food as a on a quarterly basis, and now we pay per meal eaten. And so those benefits didn't match our current structure under the rule of 85. We do still have, as Linda mentioned, honorary members of certain distinction, and there are certain cases on a case-by-case basis where someone who might have fit into the rule of 85 could potentially fit into an honorary member category. Any other questions? Okay, if there are no further questions, you do have a ballot on your table that you can vote. And also on Zoom, you have a poll. I think I'm frozen, but I don't know if they can hear what I'm saying. But it is coming out there, so. Okay.
Yeah, it's there. It's there.
It's there. So please vote the ballots on your table. Any final questions before you make your votes? And the one change that Liz has proposed will be updated, but none of the terms will change. It will just be the language to be clearer for that section. Yes. All right, thank you.
Ashley, thank you. And thanks to Ron Barnes for this really important work. And we're happy that we could bring it to the membership today. We do require a 1/3 quorum for any member vote. And we've got that with those of you here in the Franklin County, plus all of you on Zoom. So thanks. We will report on the results at the end of today's meeting. Okay, so for the next 15 minutes, we're going to focus on membership and diversity. And we have a ability to do that both on Zoom. We're going to put you back in breakout rooms, I hope. And we are going to ask for discussions at the tables. So one of the goals of my Rotary presidency is to focus on diversity and to grow membership. And I'd like for us to think about ways to do that jointly with this group activity. So what you'll see on the handout, it's another piece of white paper, apologize for that. What you'll see is that we give you the opportunity to think of people in your networks who might be interested in joining us as Rotarians. And what I would like for you to do is to either as a group on your table or individually, and I hope we've got copies for almost everybody here in the room. What I'd like for you to do is to simply take the next 15 minutes and go through the form, and I'll be around to answer any questions that you might have. And if any of you have a question on Zoom, please put it in the chat. And we simply want you to think about your own networks. And while you're thinking about them, think about younger professional people who we might be able to bring into the club, as well as women. Women are still only 1/3 of this club's membership. So we've got a lot of potential opportunity to grow, both in terms of diversity and overall Rotarians. So any questions before you get started at your tables? Okay, great. Have a good time. I'll be back at 12:55.
There you go. Now you're muted.
We've got just a couple of minutes left. I don't want to interrupt you, but I want to make sure that you get to the end of the form, which is to recommend your own individual, each one bring one person who might be approached to join our club.
And I'll spotlight. Okay, unmute. You're on. I can hear you. The mic is open now.
Thank you, everyone. Dave Meyer just told me they had a great tabletop discussion. I'm so excited. Thank you all for your good work. And we will be following up with as many of you as we can. Isn't it great? Nobody wants to stop talking. I love it. And yet, those of you who are not on Zoom, may I have your attention, please? Thank you all so much. Make sure to leave your handouts on the table. I hope that all of you filled out the final question, which is, who is your one person? Rotary International President Chick Armada made up the moniker, each one bring one. If we all did that, what a club we have. So thank you all for this exercise, really appreciate it. I am ready to close this meeting. But first, next week, we're going to hear from Emily Pike, who's the Executive Director of New Hope for Families. They've been up to a lot, and I'm really looking forward to hearing from her about the New Hope shelters. Let's close the meeting by reciting the 4-way test +1 together. Of the things we think, say, or do. First,
is it the truth?
Second,
is it fair, concerned?
Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And fifth, goodbye, everyone. Wait.